All right, let's jump right into this explainer. We're getting thrown straight into a burst of static today as we track Archlight Emberforge's explosive 5-chapter awakening arc in the world of Yaenddarr. It is an absolute masterclass in how a character and an environment can quite literally sync up. We're going to explore exactly how she navigates a fallen city to claim her destiny and awaken her ultimate weapon.
I want you to really imagine the taste of metallic ozone, right? Old circuitry, burnt mana just hanging in the air. That's exactly what Archlight experiences as she crash lands into this dead yet listening biome. This is the ruined Arcanium. It's a collapsed techno-arcane city where machines dream and data ghosts wander. It's not just some static backdrop, it's a sentient graveyard of forgotten brilliance that is actively judging her every single move.
So, here's our game plan. 1. Arrival at the Arcanium. 2. The Circuit Guardian Trial. 3. Surviving the Memory Engine. 4. Forging the Arc Gauntlet. 5. The Forged Titan Ignition. And finally, 6. Destiny in Pinebrooks.
Let's start with Section 1, Arrival at the Arcanium.
The very second Archlight hits the ground, the cracked stone actually pulses. You'll see this blue light spread across the ancient circuitry beneath her, and it's syncing up perfectly with her heartbeat. But to understand why this dead city is responding to her, we really have to define what she is. Archlight is a technomancer. That means she's a mage whose magic fuses circuitry, light, and arcane engineering. She instinctively speaks the language of dormant energy, which is exactly why a city filled with broken technology immediately recognizes her as one of its own. So, as the city starts waking up, she's confronted by a data wraith. Picture this humanoid silhouette made entirely of fractured holograms and broken code, and it's aggressively demanding her identity. But Archlight? She doesn't use brute force. No, she instinctively manifests a filament of pure arcane circuitry right in her palm. It crackles like electricity, sure, but it moves like code. And the Wraith? It immediately grants her access, opening this glowing descent deep into the ruins.
Which brings us to Section 2, the Circuit Guardian Trial.
Down she goes into this massive metallic chamber, where she meets the Circuit Guardian, a towering construct made of metal plates and glowing joints. This is a brutal test of combat, and the pacing really picks up here. She's frantically dodging these deadly, compressed beams of overclocked mana. But Archlight is incredibly resourceful. While taking cover behind the chamber's glowing pillars, she literally just places her hand on the metal, and the Arcanium responds. It floods her mind with ancient blueprints, schematics, data pathways. She downloads the city's entire logic directly into her consciousness.
And she instantly weaponizes that downloaded data. It's a real game changer. She spirals circuits up her arms, generates a sphere of condensed arcane code, and then thrusts her hands outward. That sphere explodes into this massive lattice of glowing threads that wrap completely around the Guardian's limbs. She overrides its circuitry with her own rhythm, forcing synchronization and officially passing her first trial.
Moving deeper, we hit Section 3, Surviving the Memory Engine.
Now, traveling into the Arcanum core, the battlefield shifts from physical to mental. She encounters the Memory Engine, this massive rotating crystalline sphere. The engine unleashes an absolute visual blizzard of broken light, basically forcing Archlight to witness why the city originally fell. And get this, it wasn't war, it wasn't sabotage. The turning point was actually an attempt to merge consciousness with machinery to create a unified intelligence. But the system just overloaded and triggered a catastrophic collapse.
And you know, this is exactly why the city chose her. As thousands of memories, emotions, and raw data streams threaten to completely crush her mind, Archlight steps up. She stabilizes this massive data flood using glowing circuitry patterns right on her own skin. She withstands the memory. She literally succeeds in merging consciousness with machinery right then and there, succeeding exactly where this ancient civilization failed.
That leads us right into Section 4, Forging the Arc Gauntlet.
Now, this trial is absolutely fascinating because it's a test of creation, not destruction. Hovering over a vortex of raw mana, she finds a broken, cracked gauntlet that she has to fix. Using her newly expanded Technomancer resonance, she carefully executes some incredibly high-stakes forging steps. First, weaving mana wire through floating metal shards. Second, aligning the ancient runes perfectly with the circuitry. And finally, stabilizing this highly volatile crystalline heart core right into the casing.
What you really need to take away here is that she didn't just repair a machine, she created a living artifact. The very moment that volatile core is set, a shockwave of mana surges out, and the newly forged Arc Gauntlet violently snaps onto her right arm. It physically fuses with her heartbeat, pumping molten code directly into her veins. Now, she's finally ready for the ultimate test.
And here we go, Section 5,
The Forge Titan ignition.
We are now inside the Forge Heart Reactor, the deepest chamber of the Arcanium. It's surrounded by molten circuitry and this intense, living arcane heat. So pose this question to yourself. How do you fight a towering Forge Titan, a colossal construct of metal plates and pure heat, when your hexagonal circuitry shield is already cracking under its massive blows? I mean, the heat is searing, her vision is blurring, and this Titan is demanding she prove her fire.
Well, instead of giving up, or even trying to match its insane heat, she finds her true purpose. She violently slams her new gauntlet directly into the metal floor. Instantly, a massive surge of arcane circuitry erupts outward, forming this glowing circle beneath her feet that just freezes the Titan right in its tracks. She doesn't fight with raw heat, you see. She fights with absolute molten logic. And in that moment of crystal clarity, the gauntlet completely transforms. Circuits reconfigure, runes align, and the arc blade is born. It's this breathtaking weapon of pure arcane light, extending directly from the gauntlet's core. With a single, precise strike of her newly awakened weapon, she shatters the Forge Titan into streams of molten light. The trial is officially complete.
Which brings us to our final act. Section 6, Destiny in Pinebrooks.
As the Arcanium officially recognizes her mastery, a doorway opens, leading her out of this graveyard of broken circuits and into the much wider world of the Yaenddarr Chronicles. Because Archlight, she isn't just a lone wanderer, she is one of the 4 currents of destiny. Her journey now leads her to the grounded, sanctuary town of Pinebrooks, where she's literally fated to reunite with other awakened legends. We're talking Solarin the Sun Knight, Celestia the Frostchild, and Sir Glyndor the Rivers Knight.
So think about this for a second. We've seen her incredible mastery over dead circuitry and volatile mana, but when the fierce, molten logic of the Arcforged finally collides with the sun, the frost, and the river in Pinebrooks, what new storms are they going to awaken across Yaenddarr? Thank you so much for exploring the Arcanium with me today in this explainer, and I absolutely encourage you to dive into the journeys of the other 3 heroes next.